Merry Christmas Eve to all you all. I hope everybody's enjoying their day and with their families. Making a lot of yummies, and don't forget the reason for the season. I'm going to make today, this is going to be for our dinner tomorrow. This is a cake that I have not made in a long time. Well, matter of fact, I don't even think I've made it since I've had my boys. But I was thinking today, and I just kind of went back down memory lane. Y'all excuse my mess, I've got stuff everywhere. But this is an old-fashioned fruit cocktail cake. And in this bowl, I've got 2 cups of self-rising flour and 1/2 cup of 1.5 cups sugar. That's what I got in the bowl. And my back keeps getting a catch in it. I'm going to add 2 eggs to that. You know, I remember when I was young, I was probably 15, I guess 15 when I first made this cake. Of course, Mama made it first, and then we always had flour and sugar that I can remember, and eggs. But a lot of times, you know, we didn't have nothing else, such as chocolate or a cake mix or anything. Of course, Mama didn't believe in cake mixes, but we didn't have a lot of other ingredients to make a cake. But it always seemed like we had a can of fruit cocktail. And I remember my parents sitting around at night talking about, we sure like to have something sweet. Well, Mom was the first one to make this cake and taught me. And like I say, I was 15 years old. And after that, after she taught me how to make it, from then on, I was the fruit cocktail cake maker. But a lot of memories there. Now it's supposed to go in a cake pan, you know, one of the rubber size cake pans. But I'm using 2 of these, and the reason I'm using them is I need to use them up. And this cake is served best warm, but it's going to be refrigerated overnight, so it's not going to be served warm. Now, you know, you can cut it after it's done and stuff, and you know, after it's set, and you can stick it in the microwave and zap it. But it is a lot better warm. But I think it's also good to cold too. So 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of sugar, 2 eggs. The base is very easy. 2 eggs. Vanilla. And I don't measure. Whoa, I might have got too much. And then you're going to dump your can of fruit cocktail in. It does say it's supposed to be heavy syrup. I looked up the old recipe in Mama's book, and it said heavy syrup, but I don't. All I've got is light, so I'm going to use it. You just dump it all in there. And of course, it says to use a mixer, but I never use a mixer for my stuff. I always mix it by hand. Well, I do, but my mixer's packed right now. So I'm just going to stir it up by hand, and hopefully it'll turn out. And this will be the first time my kids have tried this. You know, kids nowadays, unless it's some kind of fancy cake, fancy desserts, they don't want it. But this is one of the best cakes that I can ever remember eating. Also, excuse me. Also, if you do use a mixer, it kind of tears your fruit up. So that's another reason I don't use a mixer with this. Just stir, stir, stir. So, I'm not making the traditional Christmas dinner that I usually make. This year I'm going with, because everybody's coming at different times and it's just so hard. I am making a big old lasagna. I've not made lasagna either in years. But I'm making a lasagna. And I know my oldest son and my grandson's going to be here tomorrow. My oldest grandson. And then the next day, my middle son and his family's coming. And then my oldest granddaughter will be here Thursday night. My oldest granddaughter and my youngest granddaughter is going to stay with me for 3 days. This will be the first time that my little one's ever stayed. And she's 6. I'm not going to say 6. And the reason why is because we live so far away from each other. And we've always been, she'd throw a fit or start crying or something. I finally just told my son, well, she's just going to have to deal with it till either I bring her home or you all come and get her. So it's just going to, we've sat down and we've talked to her and we've explained to her. And she said she wants to stay with Mama. So we're going to try it. And I don't know how it's going to work. She likes to stay near her mom and dad. But like I say, we have explained to her, and if she starts crying or something, she's just going to have to hang on until we can do something. But my son hates for her to be crying, but sometimes you just got to, especially after explaining to her and stuff. And she's not going to be harmed, she's going to be safe, so it's a big difference. Now, if she was somewhere where she was being harmed or something, that would be different. But she's safe here with Grandma. So, and then she'll have her older cousin here too. So it'll be fun. I told him we was gonna make some candy, but since Christmas is over, I don't know. But we're definitely gonna go to the movie one day, and I don't know, we'll do a few little things. But anyways, now all I'm gonna do is pour the cake into these pans. Let me grab some spray. I don't know how it's gonna turn out in 2 small pans. This should be fine. Like I say, this is a really easy cake. And the icing, oh my God, it's to die for. The icing is going to have it's real thin. It's just like it's not a thick icing. It's going to have evaporated milk, coconut, pecans, butter, and I think that's it. But anyways, I'm going to put you on pause, and I'll get back with you when the cakes are done. Okay, guys, my cake still isn't done. But in here, I have 1 stick of butter. Hope y'all can see that. Where you at? I have 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of coconut, some vanilla, let me see, 1 stick of butter, cup of coconut. I'm going to put in pecans. Should have been a cup, but I was a little off, but that's okay. A cup of evaporated milk. And my vanilla. And what you're going to do, what you want to do is, you don't want this frosting all the way done just yet. You want to pour it over the hot cake. And that's what makes it so delicious. It'll be really moist. But I just want to show you that. And I'll come back when we get it done. Okay, the cake's done. It's kind of fell there in the middle. If I remember right, I think they did that. I'm not sure. But I went ahead and got the frosting done, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to take a fork. People are seeing this. And I'm just going to kind of prick holes all in it. This is kind of like a poke cake, I guess. When you just don't have nothing. Or much. When you go to a food bank, now, my parents would have never went to no food bank. My dad would have just never let it happen. But, you know, that was back in the day when things were a lot cheaper. And he worked hard to make sure we had everything we needed. But, of course, I'll go to a food bank. I don't care. Well, I care, but you know what I mean. If I need it, I'll go. So all I'm going to do, I know what I was getting at. I'm going rambling again. Usually, whenever I do go to the food bank, they always give me fruit cocktail. So, keep your flour and sugar on hand and eggs, and you've got a way to make a cake. Now, I'm going to pour this, and it's going to be thin. You're going to think, oh my God, what's she doing? It's just going to be runny as heck. But that's the way it's supposed to be. This is the same kind of frosting, I believe, that Mom always made for her German chocolate cakes. It was a lot thicker, and I do think this should have been thicker. That's okay. It's all going to soak into that cake. Let's see if I can. And it's going to be good. I'm probably going to have me some tonight. So when everybody gets there, goes, what happened to the cake? Who got into it? And so there you go. It's something simple and easy and cheap. I guess the most expensive thing would be probably your pecans. I wish I'd have made this all in one pan, but I needed my pan for something else. So, and plus I had these and I needed to use that. Okay, y'all have a very Merry Christmas. I love each and every one of you. And I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope you get everything that you've asked for. And always, like I say, remember the reason of the season. And I'll see you all after Christmas.